Well, here we are in the big hole. I wish I was ready to plant because this would be great conditions. Got a bunch of rain yesterday. Soil is obviously very damp. Would be just perfect for disking up and planting. But we're not going to do that for another month. It's Cinco de Mayo. It's May 5th, 2025. And we're planning on putting seed in the ground by June 1. So that's on a Sunday. So the guys and I are already talking about setting that date aside on our calendars to come out here and plant. So if you recall from last season, we planted this heavily in Chiwapa millet, and it was coming on really strong. Chiwapa millet, if you're not familiar, obviously it's a millet. Japanese millet being probably the most well-known in the duck hunting world for duck food. And the problems with it is that I have seen is it kind of does its thing and it's gone way too quickly. It will not last very long. Nothing will last forever in water. Rice is real good, but nothing's going to last forever in the water. But the Japanese millet, it's a shorter plant, maybe a couple feet high. You put a foot of water on that. It's very easy for the ducks to get to. Rots, falls down. Ducks seem to hammer it and move on. I will be using Jap millet just to fill in spaces. You know, end of July, we have some bare patches. I'll get a little Japanese millet throw down just to fill those in. But Chiwapa millet can get head high into the right conditions. It puts out a big seed head, and the primary thing is it will last longer in water. So we put that out here last year. It was doing really well. Hurricane Debbie came through here, and where I'm standing right now, water was well over my head. Stayed that way. We got like 6 floods in 4 weeks, something like that. Killed everything. We had a few spotty things here and there, but mostly it killed off everything, and we didn't have any duck food. So last season was bad. We didn't take a single duck home out of here. I did shoot one. I was in the blind back here. He came through. I popped him right here. He sailed right back over here. I saw him hit the water. Rosie ran back there. He was gone. Wood ducks have a really interesting ability to take a hit and then get up and fly away. So that's what he did. This season, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to do Chiwapa millet again, but we're going to add to it. I've also bought some native seeds. So barnyard grass grows here naturally. I've already seen that, which is great. It's a natural millet, looks like a millet, but of course, being a natural plant, it's going to come back year after year. Much better than, Chiwapa millet will actually reseed pretty well, but barnyard grass, you get that established. In fact, I think in some places it's a nuisance because it continues to come back for farmers. I know it's a problem in rice farming because herbicides that work on barnyard grass are going to kill rice too. So it's a challenge for them. So I've got a little bit of that, and I've also got Pennsylvania smartweed. So we're going to add that into the mix. Very small percentage, probably only about 5% of the seed we throw down is going to be those things. Why not more? Cost. Quite honestly, one of those seeds is like $22 a pound. Whereas you can get a 50-pound bag of Chiwapa millet. I think I paid 70-something bucks. Shipping is a lot on a 50-pound bag of seed, but you can get millet much, much cheaper. So we're going to put some of that in here. You actually see we have what I think is a smartweed now, but this isn't the good stuff. I am pretty sure this is prostrate smartweed instead of Pennsylvania smartweed. So it just doesn't produce seeds nearly as well. I never can get these terms straight. I always have to think. It's a perennial, not an annual. Pennsylvania smartweed is an annual. And like all annual plants, it has to make a lot of seed because that plant is going to die, and it has to get all those seeds out there so that it can continue its genetic line, if you will. Whereas a perennial, the plant continues to grow year after year, so they don't produce as many seeds. And I think that's what we have here. So I'm going to nuke that. We'll talk about that more in a minute. We're not going to do a lot of improvements. We may take down, there's a couple of little bushes here. Some places where the buckbrush will take this place over if I allow it. And in fact, this whole area right back here you're looking at was buckbrush you couldn't walk through about 4 years ago. So we'll take that, some of that down, maybe try to take out a stump. We're not going to do a bunch of significant stuff. Just, maintenance, I guess, is how we should think about it. Ugh, slide it through the mud. Do a little maintenance. Our plan had been to keep water on this thing, keep it flooded until June. Ducks were still coming in here. I have a camera right over there. I was throwing corn out for them. Ducks were coming in. But something happened to our dam, which we're going to go up here and take a look at, and the water drained out. And just quite honestly, after busting my tail for 3 years and having such a terrible season last year, I just wasn't motivated to come back out here and mess with it. It's starting to come back to me. And I think the guys maybe are a little bit more motivated than I am, so that's going to help me out. I hope that's the case. But we'll get out here and do a little maintenance. This stuff here, this buckbrush is starting to come back. That'll be easy enough. We'll hit that. Roundup will probably take care of it. If not, my brush cutter certainly will. Stuff when it's at this level, you can knock that out in no time. So we'll get that stuff taken care of. Turn the soil over like we did last year and put some seed down, and hopefully it won't get flooded this year like it did last year, and we'll actually have something to work with. All right, so I'm gonna hop across the ditch and I'll turn you back on when I get over there. All right, that's our dam. I think I showed you guys this a little while back. Something happened. We got some rain. April, March? I'm not sure. We got enough rain that it overtopped this, and I guess it just eroded. You can see where we got these sandbags. I actually filled them with dirt. And that was holding things pretty good, but it finally washed through. Interestingly enough, a beaver tried to come back and fix it. And I'm very, very happy to see this. And one thing Tom and I were talking about the other day, I mentioned before, I don't know if you can see the trickle. We got a leak in this dam. Makes it hard to hold water. I think that's where it's coming from right there. Tom and I were hopeful, we were talking about the other day, we were hopeful that once with the water down low enough, we'd be able to find it. I'm not seeing any movement out of there, but it does kind of look eroded. Maybe we'll dig back in there and see if we find a hole. And if we do, maybe we can fill it in. You can't, my experience is you can't fill it from the downhill side. You got to start from the upstream side, pack it in there, and then maybe you'll get some luck. My thought also too is that this one pipe here, I lifted it up because I think it has a leak, and I would really love to dig it up, take that pipe out. I just don't know if we wanted to go to that kind of effort. Maybe that's the only way to fix a leak. Take that pipe out. It's too short anyway. Doesn't let the hole fill up properly, which is why I got it out of the water. Take that up. You can see here, we need to do some maintenance on our chicken wire. This is to keep the beavers out of the drain. Now, it wasn't an issue this year because we haven't used to drain it, and honestly, I probably won't. I like water staying in the ditches. But we got the chicken wire. Beavers can dig, but they don't climb, so it doesn't take much of a fence to keep them out. Now, I wonder if they haven't kind of gotten, there's a hole over there by that post. I wonder if they haven't actually kind of worn through it. Chicken wire's, not super strong stuff. So that's our plan for this place here. Try to do some fixing of the dam. Do some maintenance. I'm actually surprised there's not more greenery out there than there is already. Do some maintenance out there. Maybe dig up a stump or two, just whatever we have the stomach for, if you will. This area that we didn't really touch last year, nuke it. I don't know if I can get the four-wheeler with the disc in there or not. It's pretty tight even if I do. But I've actually had pretty good luck with just throwing the seed on top of the ground. And barnyard grass and smartweed, the seed I have for that, that's all it ever gets anyway. So that's a little maintenance here for this spot, getting this spot ready. Some work on the blind. Obviously need to be brushed in again come the season. I'd like to put a roof on it. I really like having a roof over us, if nothing more than to shade us a little bit, give us a dark place to hide, make us a little less visible to the ducks. That said, we had some land in front of us this year, so the blind's doing its job. And the bench I built, it's too wide and too tall, so I want to tweak that. Maybe we'll work on that. But that's the plans here for the big haul this year. Maintenance, not really going to do any tree removal. Maintenance, am going to throw out or spray glyphosate, which is the active ingredient in Roundup. You can buy it pretty reasonably priced in gallon concentrate sizes at like Tractor Supplies where I get mine. So we'll round up this guy. Honestly, I probably need to do a treatment this week. I like to do 2 treatments 2 weeks apart, with that last one being, at least 1, if not 2 weeks before planting. So realistically, I should probably get out here this week and spray this and get it working. So spray, maintenance, seed, and fertilize. We'll fertilize with 1717. Did that last year. I don't know if it would have, maybe it would have worked if we hadn't gotten flooded, but that's going to be the plan. So stick with me, and hopefully you'll get to see me successfully grow duck food this season.